Hey, Laura J, sitting here waiting for my oil change today, wanting to say that there is a whole lot to jurisdiction that we are not normally taught. So what is it? Juris means of right or of law, and diction is what is spoke or wrote, which basically means that the one who claims jurisdiction over the man or woman who is converted into something other than we originally were, as we were, into what then we are said to be, which is a personage, title, or status, which draws the private man or woman into the public to become a creation by something we as a people created to serve us, but then began to consume us instead in order to convert us into something other than we originally were. And then it can claim jurisdiction over us who have forgot that standing and status are different. So within jurisdiction, the creator has claim to the creation. So that comes down to our name. We have a God-given name, and we also have a Roman last name, which is how there is a joinder between what is real, which is God-given, and what is created, which is the Roman aspect of the family name that has all of the slavery rights to it. There is a plane flying overhead to say this is a higher level view than what we are used to. And yet it does not mean it is not true, but if you do believe that it isn't, make a counterclaim to what I am claiming here. And then that is how we actually can duke it out, without a duke, which is a status, being what's actually brought into the play that we are using with our words this day. You see how our words become the swords that either set us free or keep us in captivity under the jurisdiction of the one who said that we're dukes because we're duking it out? Well, a man or woman can do things such as duke it out, whereas a duke is that. So a duke dukes. We've been confused to believe that the status makes us more or less. But that is not true. It is the joining of two unequal things which a maxim of law says that should not actually take place. And yet time and place and space are variables and factors that we essentially are given cause to say fact or fiction. Well, truth and nonfiction are said to be synonymous, but they are not equal. These are all joinders, which is the bringing together of two parts. But this is where we must start saying, just because it's the way it has been does not mean it benefits us to allow that to remain the same moving forward now that we know better and realize with our intuition, the teacher, our soul hired ahead of time to guide us through this life and all of the guises that our personages are, which personages are persons, which is personas, which is a Greek word origin connected to masks, which now at last we're asked to wear masks for the sake of mandates and edicts and fiats issued by those who claim jurisdiction over the ones who comply, and then come to rely on the one that gave the orders. But they will not be there to help those who have harm and loss caused to them by the fraud, yet by allowing men and women to keep their suits on, which are the statuses, titles, and personages of the personas within the public sphere that have drawn us out of our private capacity into the public sphere. They are entities, corporate entities. It's literally what the corpses are called, because an entity is a thought form that accrues energy when we give it ours. For we who are alive can write our own script, for that is the life that we have lived. And if we live backwards, then we get devil. And live backwards is evil. So these little subtleties of the ordering of things, which what is a thing but said to be a noun of a person, place, or thing, and a noun is how we then believe ourselves to be the name that has two aspects of it that are joined together and then make the real less whole, because then our soul is tied to a group. And thought forms have energies connected to the entities that feed off of our energy. So jurisdiction is essentially who will you allow to apply their rules to you. And did you know that there is no jurisdiction granted to one who is a de facto government imposing de facto law? De facto means self-assumed. They say they are in charge. Who is they? And who is liable within that? For it is men and women operating the entity that are liable, responsible, and accountable, as I always say. But we're going to say more another day. So this one, I simply wish you a phenomenal day, and may you play with what has been shared here. Leave a comment down below to let me know what this message means to you, what it means for you, what questions you have about what has been said. If you have questions about these claims of beliefs, belief systems, BS, then hey, I'll take names and then address those claims. And we do that via lawful notice, should it be necessary. So let's actually start doing what is practiced within law. It's a law practice, right? Or a medical practice, or a writing practice. Everything's practice. So we need to actually practice doing that which we need to know how to do if we are presumed to have been converted and step into the public, when we can then claim lawfully the right to remain in our private capacity, and also know that the men and women who are wearing suits that make them other than they actually are, we can hold them to it. Because if they are making a counterclaim, which in the public is called a complaint, know the difference. Claims are made by men and women, complaints are made by public fictions and figures acting as that. So these are the things that we're going to practice this month. Day 2. Namaste, Laura J. Toodaloo for today.